Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss White, and today I wanted to spend a little bit of time and we're going to talk about bullying. And I know we've all heard the word and we've all seen presentations on that, but we want to talk today about what you and I can do to stop bullying, to stand up for ourselves and for others, and to speak out against bullying. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about what is bullying. Well, bullying can be a lot of different things. It can be face to face. It could be physical. Somebody's doing something physically to you. It could be verbal. It could be cyberbullying. We are all on our computers now, and we're doing school on our computers, and some of us have phones, and we text each other back and forth. We play Roblox, and there's a lot of different ways that we can experience people who are trying to be bullies. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like and what we can do to stop a bully. So let's talk about bullying. Bullying is a single or a pattern of acts by one or more students. So that means that it can happen one time by one person, and that can be considered bullying, or it can happen over and over and over again. And it could be probably by more than one people. And that is also what we consider bullying. Okay. So what bullying is an imbalance of power. It's an imbalance of control. And if you look at this picture here, we can see a very clear imbalance of power where we have this little person down here, and then the person that looks like they're crying, they have tears in their eyes, and they're saying, "Stop bullying me." And then you have these other two, looks like kids who are, it looks like they're being mean. They have angry eyebrows and they're laughing, kind of being mean, saying, "Yeah, you don't do anything." This person's even saying, "You're so stupid." And they're really being mean to this little person. So we see anytime there's an imbalance of power, that means that is a case where somebody is being the bully and somebody is being a victim. And so we want to be careful. Here at North Star, we don't have bully. We are a bully-free zone, and we do not have bullies in our school. We don't allow them to come to our school. So we have to make sure that we know what to do if we see anybody that wants to start bullying, and how we can react, and what we have the power to do if that ever happens. Okay, so this is an example of an imbalance of power. It could be physical. Look at how big that guy in the brown shirt is. He's a big guy, and the little guy in the blue is really scared and he's tiny. So we see the imbalance of power because one is bigger and maybe stronger, and the other one is not as big and not as strong. So there's a physical imbalance of power there. It can also be verbal imbalance of power, where maybe somebody is easy. You know what? Everybody likes to pick on little Jimmy. And you know what? This little guy here, it looks like he's wearing a target on his shirt. And everybody is just saying insults to him. They're stealing his pencil. They're talking bad about them. They're spreading lies about him. They're kicking him. They're teasing him. They're hitting him. All of that can be bullying, even if it's just using their words and they're telling you, "Well, I'm going to do this to you. You better watch out," or "I'm going to tell everybody that you said this." That is an imbalance of power where you're making one person feel threatened by what you're saying to them. So we have to be very careful with what we say to each other. Bullying, an example of bullying could be written. You could have a note, and you can have an ugly note written to somebody who you're so angry at, and that can be considered bullying. When you're saying stuff like "you're ugly" or "you're not smart," or anything that can make them feel bad, that can turn into bullying. And we also have electronic bullying, which we call cyberbullying. And we've all heard this word. It's been something that we've learned about in the past years. And it's bullying that happens on any kind of device or computer that we might have, a tablet, a computer, your Chromebook, your cell phone. Like I said, Roblox. I know that you guys Snapchat, you can talk to each other through TikTok and all that stuff. If somebody is saying things that are mean and ugly and threatening, that can be considered bullying. And it's a very serious situation. So bullying has the effect of physically harming a student or placing a student in reasonable fear of harm. When somebody gets bullied, you feel like something bad can happen to you. And it also means that sometimes your property can get damaged. Maybe your glasses can get broken, or maybe your Chromebook can get broken. A bully, so that these are the effects of what bullying produces. So, what happens and what do you do if this ever happens to you? I want you to think about what you would do if a bully ever did anything to you. Maybe they came and they pushed you and they were mean to you, or maybe they just said mean things. You know, there's one person who always tells you mean things and they never want you to tell the teacher. I want you to think, what would you do if this ever happened to you? We're going to go ahead and read this story. This is called Bully Beans, and it's written by Julia Cook, and it's illustrated by Anita Duff. What is it? Duffala. I think I'm reading that right. I thought it said Duffman at first, but we're going to go ahead and read this book, and we're going to see what happens in the book Bully Beans. I want you to really pay attention, listen to the story ahead of us, okay? So here it comes.
Bully Beans. Babette was a big, bad bully. She made sure all the kids at my school knew that she was the boss. She'd tell all of us what to do, and we'd do it. She'd tell all of us where to go, and we'd go there. She'd even tell all of us what to say, and we'd say it. If we didn't do what Babette told us to do, she'd looked at us with her mean eyes. We all knew what that meant. If you don't do exactly what I say, I'll twist you into a human pretzel, she'd tell us. We all thought about what it would be like to be twisted into a human pretzel, and it scared us a lot. So we ended up doing exactly what Babette told us to do, and we let her be the boss. Babette liked to pick on kids, especially Winston. Winston is the smartest kid in our whole school. Babette made Winston do all of her homework. Babette made Winston give her all of his lunch money. And Babette liked to make Winston cry. And then she'd call him a crybaby. Babette teased Winston every day. She said that if he didn't do exactly what she told him to do, she'd twist him into a human mini pretzel. Nobody liked the way Babette treated Winston, but we were all too afraid to do anything about it. Babette didn't have any real friends, but she didn't know that. Nobody liked Babette, but we pretended to like her so she wouldn't show us her mean eyes. Last week, Babette asked me to go over to her house after school. I didn't really want to go, but I went anyways. When we got to her house, her big brother Larry started bullying her. He told her what to do, and she did it. He told her where to go, and she went there. And he even told her what to say, and she said it. Larry made Babette cry, and then he called her a crybaby. He told her that if she didn't do his homework for him, he'd twist her into a human pretzel. I don't even have time to do my own homework, she whispered to me. That's why I make Winston do it for me. For the first time in my life, I started to feel sorry for Babette. I began to understand why she was so mean to everyone. That night, I went home and I told my mom all about Babette. I told her how mean she is to all of us and how mean her brother Larry is to her. It sounds like you have a true blue bully on your hands, my mom said. I'll get out the bully beans. Bully beans? What are you talking about? My mom reached into our kitchen cupboard and pulled out a bag of jelly beans. She grabbed a magic marker and wrote bully beans across the bag. Bully beans are magic jelly beans that, when chewed up, remind kids that they have the power to stop bullies. The beans in bully beans stands for bullies everywhere are now stopped. If you want to stop a bully, you have to take away their power. To do that, you need to work together. Never hang out on the playground by yourself. Always stay with your friends in groups. Babette may be able to bully one of you, but I bet she won't try to bully all of you at once. When Babette picks on Winston, where do you and your friends stand? Right next to Babette, I said. Why is that? Asked my mom. We don't want her to use her mean eyes on us, I said. Next time, tell everyone to stand right next to Winston. Tell them to look Babette right in the eyes. That sounds scary, I said. It won't be, my mom said, as long as you eat a bully bean before you do it. Another way to take away Babette's power is to stay away from her. Babette can't bully you if she can't communicate with you. If she tries to stare at you with her mean eyes, don't look at her. If she tries to come close to your group, ignore her and walk away. What if that doesn't work? I asked. Tell everyone in your group to turn and face Babette. Have them stand up straight and tall and look her right back in the eyes. Use your loud voice and tell Babette to back off. Say it so loud that the entire school can hear you. That sounds scary, I said. It won't be, said my mom, as long as you eat a bully bean before you do it. What if she tries to twist me into a human pretzel? I asked. Babette may think she can twist one of you into a pretzel, but she knows she can't twist all of you. Chances are, if you are loud enough, one of the teachers on the playground will hear you and come to see if you need help. Why don't teachers stop kids who are bullying? I asked. Teachers do stop them when they see it happen. The problem is that most bullies are very smart and they just don't get caught. It's always a good idea to tell a teacher or a counselor when you see bullying. If you are too scared to tell them in person, write them a note and don't sign your name. Finally, she said, it's very important for you to remember that Babette may be a bully on the outside, but on the inside, she's a kid like you. If she ever decides to stop being a bully, give her a chance to become one of your real friends. I couldn't believe the words I was hearing. Me and Babette? Real friends? Never. The next day I went to school and passed out the bully beans to all my friends and talked to them about everything my mom had told me. We all agreed to give the bully beans a try. Just before the bell rang that morning, Babette headed straight for Winston. "Give me my homework, Squirt," she demanded. Everyone chewed a bully bean and swallowed it. Then we all crowded around Winston. Winston closed his eyes and swallowed his bean. "No," he squeaked back at her in a very high voice. "What did you just say to me?" she asked him. Winston looked up at Babette's mean eyes and said, "No, do your own homework." Babette couldn't believe her ears. Her mean eyes got bigger and meaner than I've ever seen them before. She was just about to grab Winston by the collar when our teacher came to the door and told us to come inside. During class that morning, Babette tried glaring at Winston, but Winston wouldn't look at her. He just sat in his seat smiling and eating bully beans. I bet he ate about 20 of them. When recess finally came, everyone ate another bully bean and headed for the door. Winston was the first one outside. Babette tried to run right after Winston, but we got to him first, and we stood right next to him. "Hey, Squirt," she said, "get over here, now." Winston popped another bully bean into his mouth and chewed it up. We all walked away, pretending not to hear Babette. She chased him down, mean eyes and all. "If you don't stop right now, I'm going to twist you into a human mini pretzel," she said. We all stopped, turned around, and stood up straight and tall and stared right into Babette's mean eyes. "Back off, Babette," I said with a loud voice. "We are sick and tired of you telling us where to go. We are sick and tired of you telling us what to do. And we are sick and tired of you telling us what to say. We are sick and tired of your mean eyes and your human pretzel threats. And most of all, we are sick and tired of you." I couldn't believe what I was saying. The words just poured out of my mouth. Babette took a step towards me. "Back off," I screamed. "Leave us alone." Our recess teacher heard me scream and came running over to us. "Is everything okay?" she asked. I looked Babette right in the eyes, but this time, instead of having mean eyes, her eyes looked scared. Her face turned white. She was in shock. "Everything is fine," I said. Babette looked up to our teacher and nodded in agreement. Then she turned around slowly and walked away. When I got home, I told my mom what happened at school. "Bully beans really aren't magic, are they?" I asked. Not exactly," my mom said. "They're just regular old jelly beans that taste good. Their only magic is that they helped you find the courage inside yourself to stand up to Babette." After that day, Babette stopped telling us what to do. She stopped telling all of us where to go. She stopped telling all of us what to say. And she stopped looking at us with her mean eyes. And she hasn't said another word since about twisting us into human pretzels. Yesterday, Babette hung out in our group for the very first time. She was nice to everyone, even Winston. I don't think she will ever become one of my friends, but at least things are better than they used to be. Winston told Babette all about the bully beans. He even gave her a few of them so she could try them on her big brother Larry. She told him she'd need more, probably about 20.
So in this story, the bully beans, we learn what to do in order to face a bully. And so I asked you the question before, what do you think you would do if this ever happened to you and you were in a situation where you were facing a bully? Well, the story helps us to know and gives us tools that we can learn and that we can use to take away the bully's power. And so the first thing that they talk about in the book is to always stay with your friends. So never hang out by yourself. If you know that every day when you go to lunch, somebody is always going to be waiting to make fun of you or push you, make sure that you're never going to be alone, outside. Maybe you stay in a group, stay with other people who you hang out with so that you're not by yourself, because a bully will always try to do something to you when nobody else is around. If you see somebody who's getting bullied, one thing that you can do is you can stand next to the person that's being bullied and remove them from a situation. Just kind of, you see your friend and somebody's talking to them and saying something that's not nice, you can just go over to your friend and be like, let's go play over here on this side instead. And you can just remove yourselves from that situation. Another thing that they told us in this book is that you can ignore what is being said and walk away. So a bully can only do something if you give them the attention and if you give them the power to listen to what they're saying. But if you ignore what's being said and walk away, that takes away all the power that the bully is trying to use and he wants to have. And lastly, and very important, is that if you have done everything and you've stood up to a bully and say, you know what, stop, leave me alone. I don't like it when you're doing this to me or saying this to me, and they still come back and bother you, you need to tell a trusted adult. So make sure you can tell a teacher. You can tell me, the counselor, Miss White. You can tell the principal, the assistant principal. You can tell the nurse. You can tell coaches. At home, you can tell your parents or an uncle and an aunt, somebody who you know will stand up to help you, just like they did in the story. So how can we take the bully's power away? Well, this is one thing that the mom in the story really tells her daughter and she tells her, look at the bully in the eyes, stand up straight and tall, put your chin up, and use a loud voice. Call the bully by their name and use your power words like, stop, leave me alone. I don't like for you to talk to me that way, or back off. Don't push me, or don't put your hands on me. Use your big words so that the bully knows that you are serious, that you mean business, and you definitely need to go and tell an adult to help you out. So whenever we see somebody who's in a tough situation, we can always help a friend in need. We can always be a friend to somebody else. Boys and girls, I always say, there's nobody who should ever be by themselves. When we go back to school and we get to play outside and have recess and go to PE, there should never be anybody by themselves, because we should all be friends and we should all bring each other together and spend time and do the things that we like to do together. A good friend listens. Sometimes we go through things that are difficult in our lives and we just need somebody to talk to and somebody who will listen. So being a good friend that helps somebody else in need when we listen is really, really important. And if somebody's getting bullied, you can always encourage them to ask for help. Don't let them go through this by themselves. Don't let them just continue to get bullied. Tell them, you know what? Miss White can help us. Even if you don't tell me, you're embarrassed or you're scared to come and talk to me, or you can write me a message. You can log into my website and click on the link that says student referral, and you can tell me without even having to write your name and you can just give me information, and I can investigate and I can help you out in that way. So I definitely would prefer that you and I talk, and everything that we talk about is confidential. That means that it stays between you and I. Unless I know that you're in danger, I'm going to always try to get help so that you're safe. But other than that, if you need to talk, Miss White is always here to help you and to listen. So you can always tell an adult if there's a big problem in your life, or that your friend's going through something and it's a big problem, and you're concerned. You can always reach out to an adult that you trust, and we are always here to help. So remember what Bully Bean stands for. It stands for bullies everywhere are now stopped. So next time you're faced with a situation where somebody is doing something that they maybe shouldn't, you have to remember the steps that we should take. Tell them to stop. Stand up for your friends and tell an adult, okay? So thank you for letting me spend some time with you. I hope you guys are all being safe. Make sure that you wash your hands. I cannot wait to be back in the school building with you guys, and that way we can see each other face to face. But remember, always do your best, okay? We'll talk to you soon. Bye.